The transport vessel shuddered violently as it plunged through the atmosphere of the uncharted world. Captain Marcus Reeves gripped his seat restraints, watching helplessly as the control systems failed one by one. The diplomatic mission had been routine until the quantum drive malfunctioned near this remote system. Now gravity was dragging them down with merciless force. The impact came with crushing brutality. Metal screamed, and torn hull panels scattered across alien soil. When silence finally settled, Marcus unbuckled himself and assessed the damage. The ship was destroyed beyond any hope of repair. Emergency lights flickered weakly in the dimness. He heard movement in the passenger section. Making his way through twisted corridors, Marcus found the delegation alive but shaken. 20 alien dignitaries from the Valerian Confederacy had survived the crash. Their species was known throughout the galaxy for their remarkable appearance and advanced culture. Now they looked to him with concerned expressions, their luminous eyes reflecting fear and uncertainty. "Is everyone unharmed?" Marcus called out, helping the nearest passenger to her feet. Her name was Lyra, the delegation's leader. She nodded, brushing dust from her elegant robes. "We survived, Captain, but our situation appears dire." Her voice carried musical tones that marked her species' unique vocal structure. Marcus conducted a quick head count. All 20 delegates were accounted for, though several nursed minor injuries. He retrieved the emergency kit and distributed medical supplies while explaining their circumstances. "The distress beacon is damaged. Communications are down. We have limited supplies and no way to repair the ship." He paused, meeting each pair of eyes. "We need to establish shelter and find resources. This planet will be our home until rescue arrives." The Valerians absorbed this information with remarkable composure. Their culture valued adaptability and cooperation, traits that would prove essential for survival. Lyra stepped forward, addressing her people in their native language before turning back to Marcus. "We understand the gravity of our situation, Captain. The Valerian people have faced hardship before. We will work together to endure this challenge." Marcus felt relief wash over him. Leadership would be easier with willing cooperation. He organized the survivors into teams. Some would salvage useful materials from the wreckage, while others would scout the immediate area for water and shelter. The planet revealed itself as they explored. Dense forests of towering vegetation surrounded the crash site. The air was breathable, rich with oxygen and carrying unfamiliar scents. Strange calls echoed from the canopy, suggesting abundant wildlife. A nearby stream provided fresh water, which Marcus tested with the emergency analyzer. The results showed it was safe for human and Valerian consumption. By nightfall, they had established a basic camp near the stream. Salvaged hull panels formed crude shelters. A fire crackled in the center, built from fallen branches. Marcus distributed ration packs, knowing their supplies would last perhaps 2 weeks if carefully managed. Lyra approached him as he stood watch that first night. The planet's 3 moons cast silvery light across the landscape. "You handled the crisis well, Captain. Your species has a reputation for resilience under pressure." She settled beside him, her presence radiating calm confidence. "Humanity has survived worse," Marcus replied, "though usually not while responsible for 20 diplomatic guests. We are not guests now. We are all survivors, equal in this struggle." Lyra gazed at the unfamiliar stars overhead. "Tell me about human survival techniques. What knowledge can you share?" They talked long into the night. Marcus explained primitive skills passed down through human history. Fire-making, shelter construction, hunting, and gathering. Lyra absorbed everything, occasionally offering insights from Valerian culture. Her people had colonized dozens of worlds before achieving spaceflight, adapting to harsh environments through ingenuity and determination. The following days established a rhythm. Marcus taught the Valerians to identify edible plants using the analyzer. They discovered native fruits that proved nutritious and surprisingly tasty. Several delegates demonstrated aptitude for fishing, using improvised spears to catch creatures from the stream. Others wove plant fibers into rope and fabric. The Valerians proved remarkably capable students. Their enhanced cognitive abilities meant they mastered new skills quickly. Within a week, the camp had expanded into a proper settlement. Sturdy shelters replaced the initial crude structures. Storage pits kept food fresh. A smoking rack preserved fish and meat. But challenges emerged. The planet's weather was unpredictable. Violent storms rolled through without warning, requiring constant vigilance. Larger predators prowled the forest edges at night, their eyes gleaming in the firelight. Marcus organized watch rotations and constructed defensive barriers. One afternoon, a Valerian named Kira approached Marcus with concern. "Captain, our medical supplies are nearly depleted. Several of our people suffer from infections caused by local microorganisms. We need alternatives." Marcus considered the problem. His basic field medicine training might help, but treating alien physiology was risky. "Show me who needs treatment." Kira led him to 3 patients displaying similar symptoms: reddened skin, elevated temperature, lethargy. Marcus examined them carefully, noting the inflammation around small wounds. Local bacteria had clearly overwhelmed their immune systems. "I need to find antiseptic plants," Marcus decided. On Earth, many species produce natural antibiotics. This planet might have equivalents. He spent the next 2 days searching the forest, testing samples with the analyzer's dwindling power reserves. Finally, he discovered a moss growing on the north side of certain trees. Analysis showed it contained compounds with antibacterial properties. He harvested quantities and prepared poultices following techniques from survival training. The treatment worked. Within days, the infections cleared. The Valerians regarded Marcus with new respect. Lyra expressed her gratitude formally before the entire group. "Captain Reeves has demonstrated why humans are valued allies throughout the galaxy. Your resourcefulness saved our people when technology failed." Marcus felt humbled by her words. "I only did what was necessary. Any of you would have done the same." "Perhaps," Lyra replied, "but you possessed the knowledge and took the initiative. Leadership requires both." As weeks became months, the settlement transformed into a thriving community. The survivors had mapped the surrounding region, identifying resources and potential dangers. They built permanent structures from clay and timber. Gardens grew vegetables started from seeds salvaged from the ship. Hunting parties brought back game animals regularly. The Valerians shared their own knowledge freely. They taught Marcus about stellar navigation, helping him calculate their position based on astronomical observations. They explained advanced mathematics and physics concepts during evening discussions around the fire. Marcus found himself learning as much from them as they learned from him. Relationships deepened through shared hardship. Cultural barriers dissolved as human and Valerian worked side by side. Marcus discovered that the Valerians valued honor, loyalty, and personal connection above material wealth. They expressed affection through elaborate verbal exchanges and subtle gestures. Several delegates formed close bonds with Marcus, seeking his company during leisure hours. Lyra became his closest confidant. They spent many evenings discussing philosophy, comparing human and Valerian perspectives on existence, purpose, and meaning. She possessed wisdom that came from centuries of life, her species living far longer than humans. Yet she approached their conversations with genuine curiosity, treating Marcus as an intellectual equal. "Your species fascinates me, Captain," she said one evening. "Humans live such brief lives, yet you burn with remarkable intensity. You accomplish in decades what takes my people centuries." Marcus considered her observation. Maybe that urgency comes from knowing our time is limited. We cannot afford to waste opportunities. A profound insight. Lyra's luminous eyes studied him thoughtfully. I believe this experience has changed us all. We came as diplomats, but have become something more. A true community, bound by survival and mutual respect. The months stretched onward. Seasons changed, bringing new challenges and opportunities. The survivors adapted, their settlement growing more sophisticated. They had stopped counting the days, accepting their situation with grace. Then one morning, sensors salvaged from the wreck detected approaching vessels. Rescue had finally arrived. The survivors gathered their meager possessions, preparing to leave the world that had been their home. As they boarded the rescue ship, Marcus took a final look at the settlement they had built. It stood as testament to cooperation between species, to resilience in the face of adversity. The Valerians stood beside him, their expressions mixing relief with something like sadness. Lyra touched his shoulder gently. "We shall not forget this time, Captain Reeves. You have shown us the finest qualities of humanity. The Valerian Confederacy will honor you for your service." Marcus felt unexpected emotion tighten his throat. "The honor was mine. You all proved that civilization is not measured by technology, but by how we treat each other when everything else is stripped away." The rescue ship lifted away from the planet's surface, leaving behind an empty settlement Thay.